also live streaming on YouTube. Thank you, Russell, for helping me out there. We're on Facebook as well. So tune in and catch us. I'm very excited about what we have to share with you today. I am Cindy of Cindy's Choice, and Cindy's Choice is impact in our community. And I do that through supporting community initiatives with a special focus on cultivating community collaboration. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today because one of those collaborations is based on health and wellness. And this is something I'm extremely passionate about and thankful for, this collaboration of people that are like-minded in helping others. Again, I do that through gathering businesses that can complement each other and have the same target market. And the beauty of this is we provide shared marketing management. It allows for amazing cost savings that most small businesses wouldn't be able to afford. But there's a lot of added value in that. And a lot of that added value is when we come together, folks, in any form, we come together, we save more. And what a blessing that is. How great is that? But you know what? When we save more, we can give more. When we save more, we can get more done together. When we save more, we can contribute more to our community. And that's really what drives Cindy's Choice. It's it always sounds like such a cliche. I'm one of those people that's my passion. I want to help. I have tons of passions. So I had to really find my purpose. I had to find a way to condense those passions in a way to help in a lot of different passions. And that's what I've been able to do. And if you have feedback or want to contact me about anything show related, please do so at cindy@cindyschoice.com. Just reach out to me at cindy@cindyschoice.com. And we do have a call-in number for the show. If anybody, I don't usually encourage that, but hey, call in. If you have any input whatsoever, we'd love to hear from you. That's 423-800-8949. That's 800-8949. And I'm eager to introduce my guest. Jim Vesper is back with me today. I missed you, Jim. Yes, Jim's been hanging with me quite a bit because we have a lot to talk about with words on wellness here on Cindy's Choice. And he was gone for a couple of weeks, but he's back, and I'm glad to have him for the full hour today as we talk about some key issues with wellness. There's just so much there. Everyone I talk to, Jim, there's something going on with their health, or a lot of husbands, because I'm in the business world, so I am, not that women aren't in the business world, but they're talking about their wives having issues and things that they're dealing with. And it's again, I hate blanket statements, but things are just like they are. There are different issues that women deal with. We do have different bodies and different personalities. And it's almost, I get direct contact with people who are dealing with health issues. But something about when you run into a husband that's worried about their wife, or a wife that's worried about their husband, you're reminded of what health, it's not just about you. Your health affects so many people in so many aspects of your life. It's a lot of how I was able to combine my passions. To me, it comes down to work and health. We find our purpose through our work, and if we can't work, that we are, we're shut down. Part of my story, without a strong network of support, if you can't work, you're really in trouble, because most of us do have to work.
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally spot on there. Most people that I know have things about the way they feel that they would change if they could control it, roll back the clock, so to speak. I have my wife and I are in our early 50s, and each of us have had different issues. Cindy, you're absolutely right. Women get to a certain age, and there are certain things that start to change, and each of those has different symptoms, and it almost becomes a Rubik's Cube sometimes to try and figure out what to do.
Good analogy.
To help somebody figure out what their particular biological setup looks like at that time.
Excellent analogy. It's customized. It's very personal.
Yeah, and I kind of liken it to trying to pack a sleeping bag. If you kind of go to you go on a camping trip and you got your sleeping bag and you try to roll it up and then you stuff it in that bag, and how difficult it is sometimes to mush down that feathery bed sleeping bag and put it in the carrying case. Most of us, when we have a health issue that's impacting our personal lives or our work lives, we're pushing and shoving and trying to tamp down all the symptoms and the problems that are affecting our health so that they don't present themselves and interrupt what we feel we need to be doing, which is taking care of our clients, taking care of our businesses, taking care of our families and friends, and doing what we want to do with our lives if we're given to do that. But the reality is, if you don't have your health, it's going to be an uphill struggle, and you're going to feel like you're carrying a weight. Some people carry an enormous weight. Some people's weight becomes too heavy to carry, and they have to literally shut down until they address those particular health challenges in a way that allows them to function at the level they want to again. So having been a personal trainer for a number of years, I saw the desire is almost uniform. Getting there, getting your body well, again, understanding the particulars of your biology and what you need to do from where you are to put yourself into a more energetic, healthful state. There are a number of questions that need to be addressed. And for me, as a trainer, I always would see certain commonalities. It's how sedentary are you? What does the food going through your body every day look like? What are the choices you're making about your sleep schedule? Those types of things have to be looked at and addressed honestly and proactively in order to create an environment where your body, the beautiful machine that God has created it to be, will function at the way it's designed to function. And that's really, it's a universal struggle. I don't know too many people that are in a position where they have no aches and pains, all the energy they would like to have, completely focused all the time, and carrying a healthy body composition. Those things are things that people strive for and would like, and we see them maybe on television ad, but the day-to-day practical aspect of getting that and holding on to that is something that many people struggle with.
Well, and and again, it's like I mentioned, husbands and wives, and of course as parents, oh my goodness, children are going through illnesses at earlier ages that didn't come till later now, and that we can get off on a bunch of different rabbit trails with all that. But something I brought up to you recently, what I deal with a lot, because I do help small businesses. I work directly with entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur, and there is a consistent personality type, for the most part, that goes along with that. And being very A-type, that's a very stress-inducing. Entrepreneurship is very stress-inducing, and a lot of the types of people that take that on are very driven, very high energy, OCD to some degree, perfectionism type people, and that can kill you, quite frankly. I think I titled our Facebook that stress literally is a killer, and it almost killed me. And just to reference that really quickly, I've dealt with health issues now for about 20 years. Always been very, very driven, very high energy, very healthy, and very thankful for my health. And as soon as I became a mother, I started doing everything right as far as active lifestyle, hang gliding, mountain biking, lots of exercise, outside exercise, eating correctly, and so forth. But still, I got hit really hard with a devastating illness that had me down for the count for years when I was just barely in my 40s. And what I realize now is childhood trauma and abuse doesn't just affect the mind. It can seriously affect your body, and that was my history. I've been very neglected as a child. You know a little bit about my story. I was on my own at a very early age, abandoned. And, that, quite frankly, made me a little crazy. But because I had a good heart and a positive attitude, I was a good kind of crazy. So I could live with that. It worked to my benefit, quite honestly, that it did contribute to my A-type personality. But I didn't understand then. Children who feel perpetually in danger grow up with a heightened stress response. This in turn heightens their emotions. I'm very, very sensitive. I've taken years to learn not to be emotionally driven. It heightens their emotions. It makes it difficult for them to sleep, lowers immune function, and over time increases the risk of just a number of different illnesses. And in my case, you take that kind of conditioning, then you add divorce stress and single momming it on top of the childhood trauma and anxiety, and add overachieving, major overachiever force, adventure seeking, the hang gliding and the entrepreneurship and all that. And then I internalized everything. And, God, my goodness, add OCD, perfectionism. I mean, it just goes on how I was literally killing myself. And it really did. It had me down for the count. Therefore, I had so many symptoms. I'm not going to begin to list them off. But the degree of pain I had for years, the doctors had me on 90 milligrams of morphine. It was 60 milligram capsule in the morning and 10 milligram pills. So I could take 3 of those a day for breakthrough pain. And you know what? I was still in pain. All that did was take the edge off. And I'm not going to go off in a long story about how all that got turned around. But that's contributed greatly to my health. And because of my driven personality, nobody knows I really have issues or get slowed down, but I do get slowed down. And it's kind of worked to my benefit a little bit. But that there's, to deal with it to that degree, it doesn't just take we bring this on ourselves. I talk about some conditioning as a child, but I had to own that and realize this, I'm doing this to myself. And it's taken me a long time, but I got a lot of that conditioning in my brain. I had to learn to rethink things, and I had to learn how my body operates and what my body needs, and that my body can heal itself if I line up the way it's intended to work with the things it's intended to have. And I'm already getting really excited because, of course, nutrition is a huge part of that. But circulation is just key. And I shared this with you because, and what I'm leading up here to, folks, is I'm going to be beginning to start some Beamer sessions with I guess, how would you describe it? A circulation inducing.
Yes, it's a medical device that will help optimize your microcapillary circulation throughout your body. Right.
And I'm really excited about this because I love activity. I love being outdoors. Again, hang gliding, mountain biking. I love golf. I love camp. I just like being outside hiking. And I love moving around. Well, as I got this condition, moving around was essential for me to be able to thrive. But I started a business this year. And we all know the trap we get into. And even though I went in well knowing I need to focus and keep my routine, I haven't been able to. And it's a horrible cycle because the less active you are, the worse you feel, and the harder it is to get active again. And I've been sharing this with Jim, so I am so excited. And I'm not going to be an advocate, tell anyone not to be active. I can't wait to get back into my cycle of activity, and I'm fitting that back in. But I'm starting a business. This is a window I needed to take to be able to do this. So with this added benefit of something to help me with circulation, and Jim, I don't know if I told you, this is something doctors never really nailed what was going on with me. They're not taught these kinds of things in medical school. I've had doctors tell me that we're not taught about this. This is what we're taught about. This is where we can help. And of course, I never like to sound like I'm anti-doctors. We need our doctors. We love our doctors. But with that said, they could recognize some things that were going on with me. Like, it doesn't seem like you're getting good circulation. And they couldn't figure, like, why isn't she getting good circulation? I'm moving, I'm doing things. And that has been a constant message throughout of people trying to analyze my condition and so forth. So, like, speak to that a little bit. Circulation is key to so many things.
Yes, it is, absolutely. And we've spent, the Western world has spent 100, probably 200 years studying the human body with varying levels of technological sophistication to be able to understand how the billions and billions of cells that we have work, interact, maintain themselves, are able to do the things that each cell is supposed to do as a component of an organ, let's say, and its role in the body. And our knowledge bases continue to grow as right alongside with our technologies to be able to pinpoint some things. And we talk about, Watson and Crick back from school days with the DNA, being able to map the DNA molecule. As we're able to find things under microscopes with intense study and foundations dedicated to eradicating one particular disease. I mean, we as a society are in a great position to be able to invest in research that can help us gain more and more information about how this amazing machine that we've been given works, and to see what it needs to have to function properly.
Yes.
But we all know there's certain basics that you can't avoid. If kind of like you have a car, you have to keep oil in it. You have to have transmission fluid in it. You have to have gasoline that doesn't have water in it. There's certain things that our machines need in order to do the job that they're designed to do. And if we do them well, much like when you may have seen as a kid, particularly a gyroscope. When you spin the gyroscope and it starts to spin, and you pull the string and it's spinning there, it can go for quite a long time if there are no other outside influences that are negatively influencing whether it's going to be able to stay in that one spot and continue to spin.
Right.
So as we kind of understand how this self-sustaining organism works, our bodies, then we go to what the basics are. Are you getting enough water through your system on a daily basis? None of us can live for more than, I think it's 3 days without water. We die. We're water-based creatures. Oxygen, a couple of minutes without oxygen, you're out. You're leaving the planet. So we look at the things that make up the system, and one of the most important ones is our circulation, because good functional circulation ensures that they're getting the proper supply of nutrients and oxygen into the cells, as well as the proper waste removal within the body. And that is so fundamental for all metabolic processes within the body, that if your circulation is poor, then you're going to see an obvious correlation between your health and well-being not being so good as well.
And something that comes to mind there is, that how often nowadays do you hear about brain fog? About people struggling with focus. And that's one of the key benefits of good circulation is better focus. It contributes to your cardiac function and fitness. I just had some wonderful surgeons on from Erlanger. Dr. Blaise Baxter joined me to talk to neuroscience, to talk about this area is off the charts high for strokes. What's the word I'm looking for percentage of strokes in the area, and that has a lot to do with circulation. We're also off the charts in this area. I think it's statewide in obesity. All these things. That's, to me, there's a lot of reasons for obesity, but lack of movement, which would mean lack of circulation, is a lot contributing to that. And, it comes to mind, a body in motion stays in motion. But when we go too long without motion, I can testify to the fact that I get it. I know what chronic fatigue is. And I want to sympathize with anyone that's listening, thinking, you just don't get it. I just don't have the energy. I get that. That is a real condition from an A-type personality that loves activity, loves to move. I have a horrible time slowing down. When you're hit with chronic fatigue, you were shut down, and it's hard to explain. Then it starts messing with you mentally, because you think you're going crazy because there's something wrong with you and nobody can see it, and it's hard for them to understand. And then you start, your self-talk starts telling you there's something wrong with you. You start believing that you're lazy. It just goes on and on and on of just layers of things working against you. And I'm so excited, Jim, I got to tell you, because these treatments, it's like this is something you can do without, you're not applying a lot of energy. That's going to give you energy, and it's not a pill. Because, when you have chronic fatigue, caffeine doesn't help. None of that helps.
Yeah. Well, we, as a company, we try to stay away from discussing specific health conditions,
Right.
because that's sort of the purview of how doctors look at you through a lens. But we try to create a condition within your body that its own abilities to heal itself can be maximized by keeping that circulation going at an optimal level. And you're, particularly because of your A-type and your entrepreneurship and your radio show and everything that's queued up in your life to be able to do, you will really appreciate the fact that our technology is able to be delivered to you to create these positive changes and increased energy in a mere 8-minute session. So when people are trying to say, okay, I'm going to dedicate an hour a day to some kind of physical exercise activity, and their intentions are great, and they've made their resolution, they're going to do this, and they've still got that full schedule of family and work and other responsibilities, it sometimes falls through the cracks. But I don't know that anybody could look you in the eye and say, I can't find 8 minutes a day to make a dramatic difference in my energy level and the number of the things that you'll see as your circulation is optimized in your body. You almost have to experience it to be able to put it, to personalize it. And I have such experiences. You have some, and you're going to have more. You'll be able to share those as we roll forward here over the next several weeks. I want to mention that this company has been considered the leader in this field for a number of years. They've been manufacturing the Beamer devices since 1998, and the sector is labeled MF, which stands for pulsed electromagnetic field. Okay, that's this type of therapy. The groundbreaking research that our company has done was able to take this particular technology to a level that has merited the awarding of 5 international patents. And we have a collaboration that we've been honored to be able to work with and start with NASA. They've seen what our technology does, and they're trying to incorporate our systems into the linings of the spacesuits that the astronauts take with them into space, because circulation in a zero gravity environment is a lot different than we experience here on Earth. And so their scientists and engineers looked at Beamer's technology and our patents, and they said, listen, we're not going to try to reinvent the wheel. We're not going to try to.
It makes me think of truck drivers.
Yep.
Sorry, I know a lot of truck drivers and have known them. And hey, we've got so much more to talk about, folks. That 20 minutes went by really fast. So stay tuned. We'll be back after these very important messages. Stay tuned for part 2.